Hello.
Yo.
What's up?
A
Don't
lot
say
of
the
roof.
ceiling. Okay.
I said
Um.
roof.
Okay.
Roof.
All right. Michael Jordan quote. Anyway, how are you?
That was a good reference. Elite ball knowers get that reference. The ceiling is the roof. I'm doing good, man. Doing good. Keeping the weather warm. I just want to say, at the time we're recording this, I think this might come out tomorrow, maybe. But
Tonight, something like that.
tonight, by the time we're recording this, the next episode, we will both be a different age than what we are.
That's true.
Think about that for a second. That's what's coming up, man.
That's true.
Yeah, we
Birthday
both we both
weekend,
share birthdays next to each other.
August
Um,
1st and August 2nd.
correct. What time were you born? Do you know?
Middle of the day or middle of the night,
I
one
think
of the
I was I
two.
was like 3 p.m. or something like that. Yeah. So I was gonna see how many hours you were older than me, kind of like some twin type thing, but
Well, how old are you
whatever.
turning again?
23.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, we're both August 2nd, or August 1st, August 2nd. Come on now.
I kept thinking you were a year younger, but I guess I don't know why. Anyway,
Me a
um,
year younger. Okay.
and a more well, yeah, and a more related note, we sports wise, we've got NFL minicamp to talk about. We've got
Finally, jeez.
World Cup finals to
World
talk about. Even
Cup.
though that feels like so long ago. I mean, there was news, other news out of the FIFA World today. If you want to touch on that, you probably know more
Oh
about it
yes,
than I
I
do.
do.
Yeah, so we'll have our
Yes, I
soccer
do.
segment. And of course, we have to talk about the news that has swept the basketball nation, so we'll get to that. But first, if there's nothing else you want to say in this intro, Brooks, let's jump right into it.
Welcome to the greatest podcast on earth. Nothing agreed. We have a great show for you tonight, so stay tuned and buckle up.
Another episode of Nothing Agreed. Back with the boys. Today, B Dubs. It is, you know what it is to me? It
Hmm.
is, there's a lot I could talk about. We are finally, to me, hitting the end of the dog days of summer, and we're now really starting to, I know it's the middle of summer, so it's a bad little analogy, but we're starting to build a little bit of a snowball effect right now. I think we just built a little snowball. We're rolling it down this big hill. So I think a lot is yet to come. But first, as we always ask now twice, how are you doing, Baron?
I'm good. I guess I
So,
already asked you
yeah,
earlier.
we're doing
So,
good, man. We're doing good.
yeah,
We're doing
you know,
good.
life's moving along. Like you said, summer's winding down, getting ready for that fall season, football season. As you know, the best time of year. We got rookie mini camp. Well, not even rookie. We just mini camp to talk about. Summer camp, training camp. Yeah, I guess we can't stop calling it mini camp. It's training camp.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that is a lot to be said there. We've got a lot of positions to look at, players to look at. So we'll get into all of that. But first, if you've been listening to the last few episodes, you'll know that in this sort of football drought we've kind of dabbled our feet into other sports going on around the country, around the world this time of the year. And if you can see what I'm wearing right here. Obviously, we have some basketball news to talk about, and I'll just go ahead and say it. That is, I'm not going to go through the accolades. LeBron James has finally decided a team, and that team is the Philadelphia 76ers. In a move that kind of took the basketball nation by swarm. I just don't think, again, when you're looking at a player at his age and what he was looking for, again, to me, I feel like the writing was kind of always on the wall. I just never really wanted to give into it, but it made a lot of people thought he was going for that, retirement tour with one of the teams he'd already brought a championship to, whether that being the Cleveland Cavaliers, his hometown team, the team that drafted him, the team he brought the first championship to, or the Miami Heat, where he spent his second stint with that big three, Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade. But no, he has decided that he is taking his talents to Philadelphia in pursuit of one last championship. The Sixers get LeBron James for a 2-year, $8 million total with a player option on the second year. But Rooks, what is your reaction? I mean, I guess I'll go last, so I'll let you go first.
My biggest reaction to this is I don't want to say athletes are liars. I'm not saying him choosing Philly's a lie. He says on Twitter that there are no more decisions to be made, that Philly will be the place he will retire at. To me, that's crazy. I just can't believe he's going to retire a 76er.
That's
Like,
crazy.
it makes no sense to me. There is no sense whatsoever. And second of all, it created the biggest tweet in like Twitter history. You probably saw it. There was this Twitter account that said, "Is LeBron James going to be a 76er?" And
Mm-hmm.
he gave away his account in 2018. Like, he didn't post on it because he went to the Lakers, and then boom, revived. Freaking hit over like 1.1 million likes now. I think it is absolutely insane. I think this, just to me, this is a good move for LeBron James in terms of ring chasing. And that's exactly what I think he should do. If that's what he wants to do, I get it. I thought he'd go to Cleveland because he wanted to cement his legacy, try to bring one more chip back home to the home state. But yeah, I thought he'd go to Cleveland just because that was kind of written in the stars. They had that meeting July 4th with everyone in Cleveland. Shams just broke it with Rich Paul like 2 days ago. Thought you would get him there. They did not. He goes to Philly. Good move for LeBron in terms of winning a chip. Now, are they the favorites in the East? Technically, they are. But, man, that Atlantic division is something. I got to feel bad for the Brooklyn Nets because division is you're getting wiped in. The Raptors are still under investigation for Kawhi, but if they get Kawhi, they get Kawhi. You got the Celtics with Tatum leading company. You have the Knicks, who just came off the championship. And now you got the Philadelphia 76ers, which to me, one of the best rosters in the league. So this is, I think it'll be a fun NBA season. I think it's going to be a fun NBA season. You look at last year, the East was won by the Knicks. They were the 3rd seed. The top 2 seeds were the Cavs and the Celtics. Was it?
Mm-mm. It
No,
was the
the Cavs.
Celtics and the Pistons.
The Pistons were the 1 seed. That's right. Pistons were great in the regular season. Yeah. And then the East to me now is just, it's a force. This is one of the few times in our lifetime, Baron, that we can say the East is better than the West. I think the East is now better than the West. So it's a little bit top heavy, but like, not to be biased, but the Miami Heat, right? Giannis and Bam and company with good shooters around them. That's a team that we're not really talking about anymore because of this whole Atlantic division. I think the Hawks are a sneaky team that could play around a 6th seed, in my opinion, and that's probably the toughest defensive team in the league now, especially perimeter defensively. When you got Lou Dort, you have Dyson Daniels, and you have Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and you have Onyeka Okongwu in the paint. Really good defensive team. And then you have teams in like the Cavs, the Pistons, the Pacers. Can they be anything decent with Halliburton? I mean, there's a lot of storylines here that could happen. And we're going to see some teams that are going to miss out on the playoffs and have a disappointing season. So I'm excited. I think this is the first time in a while that we can definitely say the East is a better conference. For LeBron, ring chase, best. Final thing I want to say, because I know you might say a lot. Final thing I want to say, I just said a lot as well, is KD put it best. And KD talks a lot, but I think he put it best. You're either signing for 3 reasons in this league, and that's to take more shots, to get more money, or to go win rings. And I think go get your rings, LeBron. Cement your legacy as much as possible.
Yeah, I mean, you're right in terms of and again, that's why I was always never kind of closed the door, at least in my opinion, on that this would be the team he ends up choosing. But I mean, he kind of said from the start, like, if he comes back, because remember, he said at the end of last season that he doesn't know yet, and he's going to take time to feel about it. So it just kind of felt like, yeah, if he comes back, there's one goal in mind. It's not trying to make more money. He's a billionaire. He doesn't need to take more shots. That doesn't I mean, he can think what he wants, but if you look at the analytics with those Lakers teams in the last couple of years, they were better when he was shooting less, facilitating more. We're just going to leave it there. So, yeah, it kind of seems like if you're going to re-sign, or if you're going to sign somewhere, that's probably the only goal. You know how much he cares about the GOAT debate and being seen as the best player of all time. So going out there and trying to solidify another ring, this is the best roster, I think, that makes that happen. I mean, look at the roster. Joel Embiid, granted, he has to be healthy. He says he is, so we'll see how that is managed in the regular season.
Load management.
Yeah, I'm of the impression that he probably doesn't need to play in the regular season, but we won't get into that. But you've got a guy, arguably the best center that LeBron James has ever played with, in Joel Embiid. You've got Jaylen Brown, who's an elite wing who can score from anywhere on the court. He's a great rim threat. He can shoot threes when he's feeling it. That's a great running mate to put besides LeBron James. You've got a young guy in VJ Edgecombe who loves to get up there, attack the rim as well. He's not the best shooter, but again, he's hustles. He plays defense, and then obviously you have Tyrese Maxey, who's going to be taken away from the primary ball handling abilities and play more off ball, which I think he's more successful at anyway. So you're going to see a lot of runs to the rim from him, a lot of catch and shoot threes, step back shots. I think that opens up his game. And yeah, I mean, for the team overall, I think adding LeBron James is a very good piece, right? I feel like the one thing the Sixers have been missing these past few years is an elite level ball handler, elite facilitator. And while Tyrese Maxey, I'm not going to say isn't a bad facilitator, he's definitely not of the level that LeBron James is. So having a guy that can come in, just give you minutes to do that, just handle the ball. Again, you don't need to take 20 shots a half. You can take maybe 10. You don't need to chase down blocks, do all that. You've got defense in the paint. You don't need to run out to the corners or to the arc. You've got young guys who can do that. So this is really a roster, I think, that can maximize what he has left in the tank at this age. So I do like it for that reasons. And I do really wonder what was said in that Cleveland Cavaliers meeting, because if that's the only team you're meeting with, especially with the importance of LeBron to that franchise, to me that looks like he wanted to go there, but they were saying things that he did not like to hear. And trust me, I wouldn't want to play with James Harden at this age either, so I don't blame him. But yeah, I mean, expectation-wise, this is a team now that has a starting five that can do anything. You need a bucket at the rim. Some people can go out there and get it. You need a stop. Someone can get up there and get that. If you need a big three, someone can go out there and get that. You have bench depth, whether that's Anthony Simons, Dean Wade. Hopefully I don't see a ton of Adem Bona this season, but beggars can't be choosers, I guess. Hopefully LeBaron Philon, he kind of comes into his own, generating all this rookie hype that he has. So I would say I'm very interested in how this season's going to go. I was really excited about the Jaylen Brown trade because obviously that is a piece that takes a roster that, yeah, they could probably make noise in the playoffs, but they're not a real serious contender, to sort of that serious contender status. And then you go out and add a guy like LeBron James, who kind of just elevates this roster in every way. My main thing, or two main things is, right, and if you've been a long-time listener to the show, you've kind of always at least known I've had this opinion, but I've still of the opinion that Father Time will catch up at some point. He is not immortal. He can't outrun old age forever. So I'm really hoping this isn't the season that we start to see that physical decline that you see athletes usually hit when they're in the game too long. The second thing is how much of a media distraction will this be? Granted, I don't think that there's any players on this team that are inexperienced or don't know how to handle all that pressure, all that eyes. But again, this is now a team that the most popular basketball player, arguably of all time, is now on. You can look at the statistics about how much the ticket prices have gone up, how much the economy goes up, how many people are in the city of Philadelphia around basketball season now. It's just a lot of attention now on the Sixers. They have the most nationally televised games now. So it's just a lot of eyes, a lot of pressure, and I'm interested to see if that affects the team in any way. Overcome those two objectives. I mean, this is a championship or bust team. That's kind of the hype that's been generated around it. That's kind of the expectation when you add a guy like LeBron James after you just made a big trade for a guy like Jaylen Brown. You have an MVP winning player in Joel Embiid who's claiming he's healthy. Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe were one of the most dynamic backcourts in the East last season. I mean, the expectations are very high for this team now. So with all that surrounding pressure, can they at least make the finals? I feel like that's the floor people are giving them. The ceiling is winning the finals. But if this is a team that can't even make it out of the second round again, then This is going to be a lot worse, a much worse turnaround for LeBron James's career than winning a champion or than just retiring. So,
Honestly, I like them more not to make the finals than to make the finals. They currently sit, if anybody's wondering, in our Sorsby standings, they currently sit at plus 1,000 to win the finals. They're the favorites to win the East, but they're not the favorites to win the finals. Out of the East, that would still be the Knicks at plus 950. To me, if I was a choosing man, I don't think the Sixers are a top 2 seed in the East come playoff time. And that's for a couple reasons. One, I think you look at your 4 and your 4 and your 5 when you're playing your best is definitely LeBron James and Joel Embiid, no doubt. I think you brought up earlier, and I wanted to talk about it once you made your points, but I could see a lot of games missed by both of them due to just injury management, right? I know there's a lot more load management, like kind of precautions, but I could see some, right knee soreness, that kind of thing just pop up. And instead of just like sitting out due to load management, I think that could be a duo that plays 30, 40 games together max in the regular season because one of them misses a game or both of them miss a game. And there's no reason to put them at risk. This to me gives 2018 Cavs, hey, we're going to go and we're going to sit back and we're not going to get the 1 seed because we're going to rest up and win games here and there and make the playoffs and then beat you come playoff time. That's to me what the Sixers should plan to do. My two concerns, is Edgecombe and Phylon. Those are two good rookies that you draft, in my opinion. What's their development going to be like now? Is fifth, seventh, eighth options? I mean, it's tough for those guys because usually you want your rookies to get a lot of touches. So it's a little bit different with these guys, especially for Phylon because it's first year in the league.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'll say this. I've never been a big fan of Nick Nurse's player management in terms of minutes and who's in the game at the right time. But if he can figure a way out, because obviously Phylon's going to come in, he's going to lead the second unit, right? And he's not, you might see him on the court with some of those other guys, but I would primarily assume he comes in when Maxey goes out. And he's kind of going to be that main ball handler for the second unit. You've got a guy like Anthony Simons who actually will have a really good season in this unit. Not a ton of pressure to perform. You're a backup, or you're coming off the bench as probably the 8th, maybe 9th man, depending on how they want to use Phylon, how much they want to use him. And then all you're really asked to do is score, which you can at all 3 levels. You're not asked to handle the ball, which I don't think he was very good at to begin with, and just play defense. I mean, you can score when the ball's in your hands, and you can play some high-level defense off the bench. Same goes for a guy like VJ Edgecombe. You talked about his development. Obviously, he's a guy who loves to attack the rim. That's a player LeBron James loves to play with, throws the lob, right? If he can get some looks at the rim, I'm sure he'll get his touches, and mainly it's just the defensive thing. I think outside of Jaylen Brown, I would, at least on the perimeter at this point in his career especially, I would take VJ Edgecombe over Joel Embiid as probably being the second best defender on that roster. So just his ability to get up, block shots, contest shots. I don't know about Phylon, but for a guy like that, I think there's definitely room to kind of find success. But yeah, no, this will say a lot about their character, really, not about their skill. Just like, yes, I'm on a roster where last year I was averaging 16, 5, and 4, something like that. One of the better rookies in the league, all rookie first team, and now, yeah, I'll probably be the 5th option when it comes to scoring. That's a complete turnaround in a year. So it all depends on how it clicks. Obviously, we need to see the product on the court for this to just kind of, before we can really make a solid opinion. Because, yeah, you're right. They could come out game 1, Joel Embiid's not playing, LeBron James isn't playing, and it could be a total mess. But I think that's where at least Sixers fans feel that comfortability with having a guy like Jaylen Brown. You saw what he did with the Celtics team last year. He can kind of be that leader that needs to step up, right? I think if you looked at a lot of players, or not a lot of players, if you looked at all of those teams he had with Jason Tatum, I think most people would say that's Jason Tatum's team. Jaylen Brown's his sidekick. He's the next best player. Again, I've never been of that opinion. You know that. But if a guy like say, because again, right now all the hype that's being generated, this is LeBron's team, this is LeBron's 76ers. What are they going to do? So when LeBron misses a game or Joel Embiid misses a game, I don't think you have a guy in Jaylen Brown who's not afraid to kind of play that role of, oh well, if the popular people are out, well, I can still do it. He's done that most of his career and he's been very good at it. So I think that's definitely some comfortability for Sixers fans.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to put it. I guess could put a bow on it. We'll see how they do, and we can wrap back around it once it comes October, November time. We see their first kind of minutes in Philly, and I guess the process, man, it's really had a lot of turns and twists. But I think this is when the process has to fully come through together.
Oh well, right? Yeah. This is it. It's make or break right now. So.
This is like Infinity War right here. Now it's Endgame. You know.
Yeah. But let's talk about football. That's why we're here, right?
That's why we're here, baby.
Yeah, I'll take the jersey off in a second, but let's talk about.
I take it off.
Yeah, you're right. I love. This is last basketball point. But this is probably the first season in like 5 or 6 years I've actually been really excited for Sixers basketball, and that was just after the Jaylen Brown trade. So, anyway.
And Joel Embiid's not the best center LeBron's ever played with. Just to let you know.
Who would be?
Anthony Davis.
Okay. Well, in his eyes, he's a power forward. So fuck you. Anyway. Training camp, yes.
Training camp, baby. We're here.
Yeah. Some teams started a little earlier, some teams started a little later. I think all 32 teams are underway. But yeah, there's a lot we could go from. You want to start with the contract holdouts? You want to start with the position battles?
Yeah, I want to start with the contract holdouts because one of them, technically, I think it's awesome for 2 reasons. Awesome is a strong word, but I think it's very intriguing for 2 reasons.
Okay.
One of them is on my team that I want to talk about,
yeah.
And the other one is in fantasy football. This is 101 or 102. Either way in the draft, both at least big running backs are 101 and 102 in fantasy, and that would be Jahmyr Gibbs and Bijan Robinson. It's an argument about who you take 101 or 102. This isn't a fantasy show, so let's just talk about real numbers here. They're both probably the top 2 running backs in the NFL.
Yeah, and Gibbs goes first. Anyway, continue.
That's okay. I'm not offended. Bijan's better running back. Anyways,
whatever.
Bijan and Jahmyr Gibbs are holding out, looking for deals. Bijan, if I'm not mistaken, or Gibbs at least has 2 more years on his deal. That's the thing. He's got 2 more years. This isn't an issue for him. I mean, they can hold him for 2 years at this point. But both are going to look for big money, big time money. And I think, Baron, this then brings up the whole running back contract situation. I don't think either of these players are in play for those. You dump for a kind of these running backs for a cheaper contract. But with these 2 running backs sitting out, do you have any thoughts about the contract situation, about the 2-star running backs and what the number can be?
I don't want to say this with like a general like consensus because like it's just not the case, but I just feel like when you see guys that like Jahmyr Gibbs, Bijan Robinson, I'm trying to think of who are the other like young guys. Ashton Genty soon. We'll see how what is his name? Jeremiah Love, right? Did I say that? Yes.
Yeah, J Love. I mean, just got drafted.
Yeah, but like I'm just saying, like we're seeing like these running backs go early in drafts now. We see these running backs that like get these insane like stat lines, like Jahmyr Gibbs. A lot of people think he's going to rush for 2,000 yards this season now that David Montgomery's gone. Like we saw Saquon Barkley do that a few years ago. We've seen guys like Christian McCaffrey kind of like single-handedly like be the focal point of offenses. It just feels like the running back position is on the uptrend, right? At least that's how I feel, even when it's still a pass-first league. And again, that brings value to pass-catching running backs, both of which those guys are very capable at. So it's just I'm just confused why there is no urgency, right? Because obviously Jahmyr Gibbs, let's say Jahmyr Gibbs gets paid first, right? We're not going to throw a number, but it doesn't matter what that number is. Whatever the number is, Bijan Robinson is going to be looking at that number and say, I want more. Then the Falcons, like you said, either have to dump him for a cheaper contract and a lot of picks, but
which they won't.
They won't. Yeah, it just makes more sense to extend a guy like that. He's a really good running back. Then let's say Ashton Genty picks it up by the time his rookie contract's over, he's going to point to Bijan Robinson's contract, say, I want more than that, and they're going to have to give it to him. Then a couple more years down the line, probably a year later, to be honest, let's say Jeremiah Love defies all odds and becomes one of the best running backs in these first few seasons. He's going to point at that Ashton Genty's contract and say, I want more than that. So
that's just how it works.
Oh yeah, that's contract negotiation 101. So to me, I don't know why, especially when there's two players in this situation, why there seems to be no urgency to kind of get that deal done. You know you're going to pay them, unless you're really that stupid and you're going to let them go. But you know you're going to pay them, so why not go ahead and do the cheaper contract?
I mean, you can't. You can't do a cheap contract with these guys.
Well, it's not going to be cheap, but don't you want to be the team with the cheaper one?
Yeah,
exactly.
I think you do. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if both of them got the same number, but you are right. If somebody does get paid, you usually have to pay the next guy more. What we're all wondering is what's the number being thrown out, right? The highest paid running back right now in the NFL is actually on your team, and that's Saquon Barkley at $20.6 million a year. And you brought up 2 points I want to bring up. One is what's the number that's being brought up? To me, I'm thinking 22, 23 maybe, 24 mil a year. If you're pushing 25, that's a pretty big jump if you're trying to reset a market. Usually,
you said Saquon's was 26?
20.6.
Oh, 20.6.
20.6 a year average per year. 41 million dollars, 20.6, 36 million guaranteed.
I would be looking at a range around 22, 23 a year.
That's what I'm thinking, right? When you look at resetting markets, it's not going to be this crazy jump unless there's a lot of money being thrown around. The running back position's not a lot of money being thrown around. So I'm thinking 22, 23 million. I think both those guys get that. What I'm looking at, Baron, and you kind of brought it up, is let's go with 22.5 million. Let's say both of them get 22.5 million. You look at the running backs of not yesteryear, but you look at now and then future, and that is Ashton Genty. That is Amarian Hampton, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Going to be guys like that. Jeremiah Love, right? Guys like that. There's a couple other.
See if Travion Henderson takes off sophomore year.
Travion Henderson's a good one.
RJ Harvey.
RJ Harvey. Quinshawn Judkins.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of – it just feels like whether they're not impactful maybe in the run game as much, even just in the passing game, it just feels like running backs are on the uptrend. Yeah, sorry.
Here's my thing now. Here's my thing. Jahmyr Gibbs, throw me a range. What do you think he's best in running back position? If you put him top 10, top 5, top 3.
No, he's the best. He's my number 1 right now.
He's your number 1. Yeah. Bijan Robinson. Is he your 2? Is he your 3? Is he your 4?
I'd say 2 as of right now, yeah.
I think it's, to me, I have Bijan Robinson 1, Jahmyr Gibbs at 2. If you flip it, I'm not offended, right? Here's my thing, okay? We're talking about the 2 best running backs in the NFL at the end of the rookie contract. Oh, yeah, right. When I look at this running back market where I'm like, I got to pay these guys, right? Mm-hmm. I look at Quinshawn Judkins. I'm not thinking Quinshawn Judkins is going to be a top 3 running back in the NFL in 2 years to come because I think those guys are still going to dominate it. When I look at Ashton Genty, I think he has the potential to be there, but I don't think he will hit that. When I look at Amarian Hampton, I'm thinking the same thing. I'm thinking guys are like going to be in your top 10s, but not your top 3s. But they're then going to ask for those raises as well, which then is going to bring up, I think, a huge running back market earthquake. Because look at these guys. You're saying this is 1 and 2. This is 1 and 2. You got to pay them 1 and 2 money. You got to pay in the top money. Look at these guys behind them. They still got a couple years left. That's correct. So we're going to see what happens. Mm-hmm. And we are going to see the Saquon Barkleys, the Christian McCaffreys, the Derrick Henrys start to fade out. So let's see if they will jump up in those positions or stay at like an 8, 9, 7, and then demand most running back money. I think it's going to cause a huge earthquake, and I think you're going to see the seismic effect of 2 tectonic plates of the running back market hitting. And you're going to see a lot of teams maybe funnel those guys out because that's just what it's going to be.
Yeah, we'll just kind of have to wait and see what these contracts look like the next few years. But while we're on the topic of contracts, we'll go through some of the extensions that have happened. Yeah. Actually, just now while we're recording, Chris Olave was extended by the Saints, 4 years, $132 million.
Yeah.
So my only thing, that's a lot of money for someone who doesn't play a lot. So if he can stay on
Again,
the field, very well deserved. I do think he's easily a top 20 receiver, arguably top 15 in my opinion. So, but again, best ability is availability. So if you can stay on the field, that money is worth it. If you can't, then it's not. So we'll see what that looks like. Got a new running duo or receiving duo in Jordan Tyson. Also, some injury concerns there, so we'll see how their season shapes out. But Chris Olave gets a big payday. Anything to comment on that one?
well, you talk about not being on the field. That has been a little bit of an issue, but you got to say, at least for last year, he was on the field and he
True.
was making plays.
True.
He actually hit career highs in catches, receiving yards, and touchdowns last year. 100 catches last year. I think almost 1,200 receiving yards and 9 touchdowns. So I was reading these things because of, I knew he needed a payday. I saw him and Jordan Tyson being put together. I was kind of scared. So yeah. But again, that's the thing with with the market. When your contract comes up, is Olave a guy you want to see on another team, or is that a guy you want to see on your team? It's a guy you want to see on your team when it comes game time, even if he misses a couple games. So yeah, you got to pay the man. You got to pay the man.
Yeah.
It's not receiver resetting a contract.
No, not at all.
Another deal that we can go into that reset a market at a position.
We'll get to that one.
But I think it's good deal for honestly both parties, in my opinion. I think it's a good deal for both parties. You don't overpay like too much. Gotta pay a little bit more than you want, and Olave gets good money. I think it's a win-win for both parties.
Yeah.
Again, hurts me to say as a Falcons fan.
Yeah, so we'll see. The best of luck to the Saints this season. Obviously not from you, but yeah. I mean, if those receivers can stay healthy, though, and Tyler Shutt should have all the help this sophomore season. But we'll move right along. The Browns extending a pair of their DBs, one being safety Grant Delpit, the other being cornerback Denzel Ward. Thoughts on those extensions?
Secondary extensions, Denzel Ward again getting paid the most by a corner. Honestly, again, this can sound kind of crazy because he is the most paid corner. But sometimes I think he's underrated, right? Because he plays for the Browns. I think he is underrated. I think he is one of the best corners in the league. I think Grant Delpit, one of those guys that, again, you're talking, do you want to see him on your team and pay him a little more than you think? I think it's a good extension as well for Grant Delpit. Honestly, helps your secondary for Cleveland. And then, if you want to say it, Cleveland's not there to make that push to win the division, but they're still a team that you look at, can they go and win 7 games, right, and surprise a little bit, and then make the jump next year? You lock down 2 good guys. I like the extensions for both once again.
Well, yeah, Cleveland's a weird team to me because, yeah, like you said, it feels like they have that potential to like win 7 games, but it also feels like they want the first overall pick. I mean, they're about to throw Deshaun Watson out there and the big 2-6, so it's like dog. But again, I think both these players are great. I like the signings practically. My only issue is I don't know why the Browns are the ones giving them this money, and that's no like diss to these players. It's no diss to the Browns, but you look at the rest of their defense, how younger it's getting, right? You have Carson Schwarzenegger, yeah. You have him. He had a great season last year. You're looking for some repeat. You got a young guy in Jared Verse who's coming in, who's going to be hungry. I know they have some other young guys on that D line that kind of showed out. I like their linebackers that go with Schwarzenegger. So these kind of, to me, now that Myles Garrett is gone, these feel like the last remnants of that older Browns defense. So in my mind, if I'm looking at this roster, like you said, they might be competitive in some games, but they're not winning this division. They're not making the playoffs, especially if you are within that organization of the mindset, we need the best draft pick we can get. We need a good quarterback, a young guy. Why not sell out on these high talent players, get more draft capital, and just really kind of buy into this rebuild? Because it just kind of feels like it's being half-assed. I know, I'm not saying that these guys, Denzel Ward and
I know you're not saying that.
But when this defense finally comes to fruition and these guys are 30 and on their way out, well, now there's 2 more holes you got to go out and fill. So it just doesn't feel like a rebuild, more of like a retool, and I just don't know how I feel about that. I kind of expected both of these guys to at least be traded before the trade deadline this season, just in the Browns' interest of kind of like what the Jets did last season. Like, we have these older guys on our defense. we also have some younger guys who are on the come up. Let's just make our defense younger, stock up on capital, and retool for the next few coming years. And if you ask me, the Jets had a very good draft. So I don't understand the move by the Browns. I don't hate it because, yes, both of those players are deserving of that money. But long term, what is this doing for you? I don't really know.
I mean, if they suck, then you can trade them off because when you trade for stars like that, you got to pay their contracts. That is true.
Yeah,
But
no, that is true.
This to me, the Browns, 2021, right? And then you start going like this. To me, I think you're starting to go like this, right? And to me, it makes no sense to go like this. I think you got to pay them, and you got to look if you can go like this. And if you go like this, then you trade them. But I think you're starting to go up that hill, and you need to pay your good guys your good money. So
They must be a lot more optimistic about that offense than I am. But finishing up these signings, there was one of the Vikings offensive linemen got an extension. I think that was pretty deserved. I forget his name, so I'm sorry. But
talk about one more big one.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. But I think that's good. They had a good offensive line, despite who was throwing the ball. We'll see who it is. We'll get to that in a moment, but we'll see who's throwing the ball for the Vikings this season. Last big extension, the big one, Jalen Carter, Philadelphia Eagles defensive tackle, getting market resetting money. 4 year, I don't remember the amount. 4 years, 100 something.
It was like 160, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a lot of money for a guy who. There was some serious, legit questions. I mean, you have a lot of young people you need to pay on this defense. Obviously, Howie Roseman is a wizard with payroll and all that, so I'm sure he has a plan. But I mean, there's a lot of skepticism. He had a down year, a lot of behavioral concerns, especially with him spitting on players and throwing up gang signs at other ones. I mean, there was some serious belief that they might try and at least trade him or see whatever, but he ends up staying. I agree. I think that's a good move. He's one of those players where, yes, statistically, you look at his season last year, he had a down year. He was getting double, almost triple teamed every snap, and that lets guys like Nolan Smith, Jalen Phillips, Jalix Hunt come off the edge and get an easy one-on-one and go for a sack. So that, again, guys like Jalen Carter are why guys like Jalen Phillips gets paid $30 million a year. So much wanted, much needed. Him and Jordan Davis are locked in with the Eagles through 2029. If I was a running back, I do not want to go into those A or B gaps. So yeah, keeping a staple or a cornerstone of this elite Philadelphia defense in Philadelphia.
Yeah, it's a 4 year 152 can go up to 160. Big money for an IDL. That's I think it's also backloaded as well. So he's not going to be the most paid here defensive lineman because remember Jeffrey Simmons got that one that pays him like 36 a year, I think, and then Chris Jones got that one that pays him like 35 a year. So yeah,
but in terms of congruent contract money, it's the biggest.
Yeah, yes, correct.
So, but yeah, like I said, that is a player you may or may not think is deserving of it. He got it anyway, so hopefully he can stop spitting on people. Now, let's move on to positional battles. And we'll talk about one before we get to the quarterbacks, because this is just the one that's getting all the buzz on social media. But that would be the Cardinals wide receiver one. Maybe he wants to trade. Maybe there's something like wrong with his game. But Marvin Harrison Jr. is looking like a bust going into year 3. Obviously, I don't know specifically which pick he was taken with, but I know it was top 5, 4, yeah. And I forget. I feel so like out of the football world. I apologize, but I forget the guy who's beating him in camp, but he was not drafted 4th overall. In fact,
I think Michael Wilson's going to be your number 1 for the Cardinals.
Yeah, that's his name. Thank you.
Yeah, Michael Wilson
wasn't he
really good last year.
Wasn't he undrafted as well?
Yeah, he wasn't a high, if I'm not mistaken. But Michael Wilson was really good last year.
Yeah,
I mean he was really solid.
No, I'm not saying he wasn't.
Yeah,
I'm just saying when you're a guy like Marvin Harrison Jr. who is drafted 4th overall, and you're losing a wide receiver 1 battle in camp to a guy who went day 3 if he even got drafted. That's not a good look. That's bust. That's bust status right there. And again, there's some speculation that he just doesn't want to be in Arizona given the trajectory of the team. Hell, I wouldn't want to be in Arizona either. But I mean, it's the NFL. Obviously, you trying to get your money, and this is not going to get him a payday at all. So we'll watch how that saga ends out. Maybe they trade him for some draft capital while they have the chance. Maybe he just needs a fresh, do some new scenery. But yeah, outside of those like first 2 or 3 games as a rookie, he has done arguably nothing in the NFL the past almost year and a half. We'll see what he does this year, but it's not looking good. But yes, we'll dive into the quarterbacks now. We'll start with the easy one, being on the Raiders. That is Kirk Cousins versus
That one's done. That one's done.
Fernando Mendoza. Yeah, but have you not seen the speculation? People are looking at Kirk Cousins moving online and they're like, yeah, Mendoza's going to be out there by week 4. So
But they have a decision. So
they do have a decision, but how long until we see the rookie sensation?
I think later. I think week 10.
Really?
I think week 9 or week 10. Once the Raiders really start like they are like 2-7, right, and the playoffs are really out of order. That's when I think you throw Mendoza in, because this team is not a playoff team, right?
No.
When we look at this team's bottom 5, 100%, bottom 3 most likely when you're looking at teams in the NFL going into next year, and they're put in a weird position. That position is either you play Mendoza now because you got no games to win, and you go just let him get beat up, and you let him experience the NFL, or you let him sit and learn from Kirk Cousins. They're going to let him sit and learn from Kirk Cousins. They said he's going to be number 1 going into training camp. I don't think that's going to change. I thought that's how they go as well. I think halfway through the year they'll switch to Mendoza.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it was week 4, week 5. If they haven't won and Kirk Cousins looks bad, I'm not saying yeah, he misses some throws here and there. If he if he has a Geno Smith-esque year, if he has a Andy Dalton-esque year, I would not be surprised if Mendoza is thrown in there just to get people in the stadium. So we'll see. We'll keep our eye on that.
Trust me, there's no problem getting anybody in that stadium.
Yeah,
it's Vegas.
That's a good
They have
point.
a lot of people that go to that game just because they can afford it.
That's a good point. Well, maybe they want to try and get some real fans in there, although they might need to lower the tickets.
It's crazy. I mean, just to rebuke that point, it's that you looked at the ticket prices last year because I was like, what if I just went to Vegas, right? I did my Vegas game and I saw a Raiders game.
What if I just went there?
Because I want to, What if I went to Vegas and I saw a Raiders game? And they were playing, I forgot what team it was, but it was last
the Dolphins.
Year. It might have been something like that near the end of the season, and tickets were $250 to get in. $250 to get in. I was like, this is insane. $250 to watch this bum ass team that has 1 win. So yeah, they have no problem. They're selling tickets for $250. All right, they're not doing those University of South Carolina buy one get one free ass tickets.
Fair enough. Slight shade, but I fuck with it. Anyway, we'll move on to the next one. That being the Minnesota Vikings. Who is it going to be? Kyler Murray or the dangerous number 9?
Kyler.
Yeah. I think that one's – I don't think they've officially made an announcement, but you can kind of just just look at the Vikings training camp. Hey, you know the importance of training camp clips, don't you?
Yeah. That one we can talk about. That's a good story for the rest of my life.
I mean, might as just be a yearly story at this point. But
Brandon freaking Graham.
Yeah, you can explain it real quick.
Yeah, just 2022 going into 2023. Barron's like, you guys should watch Brandon Graham. And I'm like, Brandon Graham, the 11-year NFL veteran who's 34 right now, 33. He's like, yeah, he's killing training camp. He's doing amazing this year. I was like, just shut up. It's training camp. And then bro had 10.5 sacks that year. He was actually sick. And I was like, all right, you got it, big dog. I'll shut the hell up. So yeah, training camp is important. He cooked me.
Yeah, I think that was the year they had 70 sacks as a defense. So
yeah, that was a crazy year. That was insane.
Yeah, you weren't tapped in, but
I was not.
Yeah, I mean, if we're watching the training camp footage, I think it's safe to say that this is Kyler Murray's battle to lose. I mean, literally the first throw he had on 7-on-7, he threw a 60-yard touchdown just right in the breadbasket to Jordan Addison. So I think it's all but set in stone. I think we will see Kyler Murray waddle on out there week 1, and I mean, we'll just see what he can do with this team. I'm excited for it. I think that's a team that has a lot of upside if things go their way now, and if he can play competitively. So definitely a team to watch for sure. And last and probably least, we're going to talk about the Atlanta Falcons quarterback battle because there's a lot of questions, Brooks. Is it going to be the young guy, Michael Penix, the guy they took 8th overall in a shocking draft pick? Is it going to be Tua Tagovailoa, another very high draft pick who's kind of had a slump as of recently, but when he's on it, he's on it. And what if I told you there was a third hat in the ring? Yes, that is right, ladies and gentlemen. As of the last 48 hours, the Atlanta Falcons have signed Cooper Rush, Cowboys quarterback legend, to kind of come into this room and see if he can shake some things up. So, in this three-headed snake battle, Brooks, who do you have who do you have at this moment winning that battle?
Here's the funny thing, all right? And Baron, you've changed my world. I've been watching training camp clips of both of them, okay? Tua is injured, all right? Tua is hurt. That's why Cooper Rush came in.
I know.
Michael Penix is coming off a torn ACL.
I know.
Right? And he's not even moving 100%.
Oh, I know. That's why we're going to see Cooper Rush walk out of that tunnel week 1.
My life is absolutely in shambles, right?
Oh, don't say that. Don't say that. Remember, Dallas Cowboys fans for like 4 weeks were saying he was better than Dak Prescott. So, and Dak Prescott almost won an MVP. So,
let me say this.
Okay.
My life is in shambles. All right? My life is in shambles. Okay, there is nothing positive. Look forward to it. My damn star running back is holding out. Kyle Pitts is playing another year. No, I'm kidding. But freaking, what was happening?
I mean, how many touchdowns are we due for this season?
Kyle Pitts, he always does one touchdown.
No, I know. So how many did he have last year?
Like 9. So he's low key due for a big year.
Okay.
And it's Kyle Pitts on a contract year because he's on a franchise tag.
That's
which
true.
Which means he's due for a big year.
Okay.
So if you put Kyle Pitts in the contract here, he's a top 5 tight end in the league.
And don't forget Drake London.
Beast. Zachariah Branch, UGA legend Zachariah Branch.
Jahan Dotson.
Shut up.
Super Bowl 25 first catch for the Eagles. Sorry.
Okay. All I'm going to say is Michael Penix is starting week 1. Tua is injured. And Penix is revamping up. And honestly, Penix has looked pretty decent.
Okay.
He's looked pretty decent. So bring my boy out there. That's always a story I'll bring up, is that I was laughing at AJ for taking Joe Alt, and we took fucking Penix 3 picks late. So, yeah. And I wasn't laughing at Joe Alt because, he sucks. I was laughing because they want to believe Neighbors, which, oh, God, woe is me, right? So I guess Malik Neighbors could be retired. No, I'm kidding. But I fucking took Penix. So, yeah. I think it'll be Penix because Tua had the injury. And also, I think Tua is just there more to kind of be a backup if we need one. I don't think he's there to start. Keep it real with you. If we bench our 8th overall pick, I'd kill.
Yeah, I can't say that on the airway. No. Do not be surprised when number 10 trots out of that tunnel in his fine golden or orange hair. Remember, better than Dak. God, what a stupid fucking fan base. Anyway, yeah, that's about it in terms of positional battles of note, at least. Obviously, every team has positional battles, but I don't even think you could tell me the 2 people going up for the Eagles' opposite safety position.
Me?
Yeah.
You want me to tell you?
Exactly. You can't. That's my point. So,
aren't they moving DeJean to safety or something?
Only in base package. So we can get into that another time, but we're gonna have the best secondary in the league this year, so it doesn't even matter who gets slid in there. But listen.
One more NFL thing, maybe, because I don't know if we have any more NFL things.
Yes, we talk about the early exits. Unfortunately,
sure, we can talk about the early exits, and then I have one more thing. Go on.
Players getting injured. Obviously, hate to see that. Nick Scorton, Panthers sophomore, who a lot of people thought he's gonna have a better year now that he's
big year where he is nationally noticed. Yes.
unfortunately, we'll have to wait a season. He has torn his ACL and likely out for the season. So prayers up to him. Hopefully he can recover, maybe make it back by the end if they're in playoff range. Might be needed, but we'll see. They got the $30 million a year, man. So hope that works out for him. Anyway, Brian Bresee, Saints defensive tackle. Also hate to see that. Tore his ACL as well. He was kind of, I'm not going to say game changer, but a big part of that defense, especially up front, stopping the run, especially when you're in a division with Bucky Irving, Bijan Robinson, and whoever the Buccaneers also just got. Anyway, Kenneth Gainwell. So, yeah, definitely going to be missed. We'll see how the Saints replace his production as well. Again, hopefully he can come back maybe at the end of the season if they're in a playoff position. But also Shamar Stewart narrowly avoiding an ACL injury.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Hyperextension of his knee. Thank God that's not an ACL injury because that would suck.
I'm trying to think if there are any other big injuries.
Tua got hurt.
Yeah, well, no one cares. Jonathan Grenard, Eagles legend already, strained his pec while lifting weights in the middle of the summer, so he's out for training camp. Expected to be back week 1, though, so hopefully he can come back to the field, tear it up. All right, you can take over because I think that's it.
Vita Vea requesting a trade as well.
Yeah.
Buccaneers due to contract extensions. We'll see where he goes. Baron, I think I'm about to say something absolutely horrific on this podcast. That'll haunt me for the rest of the time.
Oh, God.
That's when I get your attention. I might buy CJ Stroud stocks this year.
See, we can't ask people to take us seriously, and then you say shit like that.
But Tank Dell's best friend's coming back, right?
Okay.
You still got Nick Collins. His stock is in the damn ground. If I buy it, I'm losing almost nothing. All right? It's not a bad buy of stocks, okay? It's not a bad buy.
Hey, listen.
I might buy some stocks.
Listen. I'm drinking the water.
And for you to be big on the David Montgomery Texans trade, that should help out as well. I wasn't as big on it.
Should help the offense because they're gonna need to be run heavy because he's ass.
No.
And I'm drinking the water.
No.
I'm drinking the water.
How about this? Next pod, let's put I can maybe find it now. If you give me 30 seconds. But I will take the under on CJ Stroud interceptions, and you can take the over, and we can do a punishment on here if
okay. I'm elite
All
level
right,
slander. Elite level slander. I'm drinking the water.
Let's see. Anyways,
You've seen that, right? I'm not
yes,
just
I have,
talking.
I have.
Okay, I'm just not
Yeah.
just talking to myself. Okay.
I don't even know if I can even look at this. So I am not. See, if I had Brennan Silsby next,
because Vegas doesn't want to lose money. Okay, if his line's 15, then I'm not taking that.
Stat leaders, QB INTs. CJ Stroud is 4th best at plus 1,400. Wait. How do I find over-unders on this?
Yeah, it's over, dog. Just give it up.
No.
Just give it up.
Player stats over-unders. Is there interceptions? What? Where's interceptions? What? Stat leaders. QB INTs. Okay, I already saw that. Wait, how do I look at... All right, I'm looking at CJ Stroud over-under INTs. Over-under... INTs.
Just drink the water.
CJ Stroud flopped. All right, here we go. No, this is for one game. This is over under half interception. Whatever. All right. I will find it. Something. He's plus 1,400 to lead the league in interceptions. Baron, who's number 1?
Is Jameis Winston?
Least hair quarterback in the NFL.
Dak Prescott?
Nope.
Josh Allen?
Every single week you'd come on and slander this man.
Well, it's not CJ Stroud.
Nope.
Joe Burrow?
Nope. Geno Smith.
Oh yeah, duh.
Geno Smith.
Well, he might also only play 4 games, so.
Fair enough, innit? Who would start over him?
Brother.
No, you're no,
the
no,
the
no, no.
kid.
Do not even. No, no, no.
Okay,
No,
so
no, no.
so
The
didn't
weather.
didn't
The
didn't
weather.
didn't soccer just end? Let's talk about that.
Neymar yet sunny in it. Yes. I guess that we can close out on a little Brooks's bombs. Brooks's bombs is gonna have 2 segments today.
Oh
They're gonna
boy.
go very quick. One of them
Take your time.
first is
We've got about 5 minutes.
Monday, August 3rd. Trade deadline for MLB. Tarek Skubal is going to be on the move, most likely. If he goes to the Dodgers, I will end it all. In terms of, I will close out all of my baseball talk for the rest of the year. Because if the Dodgers don't win it, that is horrible. They are trash. My other one is, let's talk about the best sport of all time, which is
Football? No,
Yep.
not that football.
Yes, it is. I'm kidding.
Soccer.
No. Ew. Soccer, sure.
Yeah.
FIFA president, which when I say FIFA president, it's the same as your Adam Silvers, the same as your, what's the NFL guy's name? Roger Goodell, right? Same guys as those. Okay, that's the FIFA president, Infantino, Gian Infantino. Infantino, Baron, has proposed an idea to sell off stakes in the World Cup. Now, if you're wondering what that means, Baron, can you name a bowl game in college football?
The Cheez-It Bowl.
Boom. That's exactly it. It'd be like the Cheez-It World Cup.
Okay.
Come on. And it'd be having private investors investing in the World Cup, which is horrible for the game. Baron, let me tell you how bad this is. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you how bad this is. It has gone so bad that all of the European countries have decided to boycott the World Cup. That means your next World Cup, which, by the way, your next World Cup starts in less than a year, Baron, with the Women's World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Your World Cup for women's would have no Spain, which just won the World Cup in 2023, Women's World Cup. No France. No, this for men's as well. No France, no Spain, no England, no Germany, no Italy, no Portugal, no Poland, no Netherlands, no Belgium. They make over 60% of all revenue for the World Cup and for FIFA. CONCACAF has come out with a statement. CONCACAF is like your North and South America countries. They aren't boycotting it, but they're standing against it. So, yeah, big deal and horrible for the game to have private investments in a damn major tournament. It's horrible. So, yeah, they're trying to Americanize everything. Please don't. Please do not. I love my sport. Get your hands off it, bloody son. Anyways, that's all I have to say.
Okay, cool.
See, you made it quick. There you go.
Yeah, I guess so.
Other than that, Baron?
Madden ratings came out, and apparently they're
They
shit.
did. Madden ratings came out.
I did see the 99, and I already know I'm gonna hate Josh Allen this year. So.
Yep. I have not really kept up with Madden 27 too much.
All I saw was
gameplay and
that
all
all I saw was that there's a green window to make catches now. So
I saw the time catches. I did see that.
So I'm not gonna be playing with all the 2K cheaters. So I'm gonna be skipping this year.
Yeah, just download a roster update and keep it the same. So.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with 26.
There's a lot wrong with 26.
Whoa. It's one of my favorites of all time.
No.
Yes.
I thought it was so bad that I watch people on Reels nowadays and they say Madden 20 is the greatest Madden of all time.
Yeah, that was one of the best.
No.
Of recent memory, yeah.
Of recent memory, yeah. But when you're talking recent memory, it's like throwing cow poo, horse poo, fucking dog poo out there and picking your favorite one.
No, I feel like it's fine.
What made Madden 20 so good? The only thing to me that made Madden 20 fun was Superstar KO. Superstar KO was absolutely fantastic that year.
And the abilities.
And then everyone just cheesed with Eric Dickerson. That's it. That's the only thing Madden 20 is known for. Other than that, it's a dog shit Madden. The stop and go was OP. The animations were horrible. It's not a good Madden. The blocking was trash.
No, it was.
Madden 19 was worse than Madden 20.
Easily.
Horrible. You couldn't run.
But let me put it this way though, and maybe this would change your opinion. But to me, Madden, and I guess this is and I think this is a big reason why people have this opinion these days, but like I feel like in the last 4 years since Madden 22, EA's focus has been we need to make this game as realistic as possible, right? Like we need to have accurate ratings, we need to have accurate like customizable like arm sleeves, leg sleeves, jerseys, helmets. We need to make it we need to have like the coaches like scanned in. Like this needs to feel like you are just controlling Sunday Night Football, right? They did all the presentation changes. They got the actual announcers to like come in and do like voice lines for like important games. Like that just seems to me like that's been the theme. Upgrade the graphics, make everything look better. Madden 20 was so fun because that game came out and it felt like a football video game. Like you have these players that are doing absurd things that they'd never do in real life. And that's kind of, in my opinion at least, that's what made it so fun. Like you said, yeah, the stop and go is kind of broken. I think that was just kind of part of it. That's just the game. Like the speed was kind of like insane. Like if you had like a 99 level speed player back then felt a lot faster than a guy that said 95 speed. Boot up Madden 26, that is not the case. They technically are going to be a little bit faster, but like if you're talking about specifically, let's just say for Ultimate Team, if you had 99 speed Tyreek Hill, which I did back in Madden 20, he was unguardable. You'd have to play double high, maybe even triple high safety if you went up against that, or at least kind of like manually play with the safety back there to kind of get behind him because you couldn't stop him one-on-one. And that just, I think, as cheesy as it was, I think that's why a lot of people love this so much because it felt more like a video game versus a virtual simulation. Kind of what they go for these days.
I have been playing Madden since Madden 08.
Okay, fair enough.
I am an old head when it comes to Madden. I will say this. If I had to choose a Madden from Madden 18 to Madden 26, I might choose Madden 20 as my favorite NFL or my favorite game. I can't lie.
Yeah, I would too.
But if we're talking about best Maddens, I wouldn't put it up there with the best Maddens, right?
I
Madden
would.
25.
It's in my top 5.
That's one of the best Maddens. Madden 16, I thought was really the draft mode was clears KO.
That's
the draft mode clears KO. The only thing cheesy about Madden 16 was the aggressive catch. All right, the aggressive catch was OP, especially with Odell. That shit was OP. But that was more fun to me. Aggressive catch bombing than fucking stop and go and speed cheesing. That was more fun than that.
Yeah, I just think with the introduction to like abilities too, that really just made it more like video game, and I think that's why I appreciate Madden 20.
God, abilities to me are one of the worst things in games, right? Let me just tell you this, Baron. Let me just tell you this. This is why I don't like abilities, and this is going to come off my other video games here. FIFA is absolutely horrific with abilities.
Well, I don't play that, so I can't speak on it.
It is horrible. FIFA is so bad when it comes to abilities. They made FIFA worse this year. I mean, they already did one update, and it's worse. I'm playing FIFA 26, and I play every game. Baron, give me a realistic score for a soccer game.
1-2.
2-1. That's the most common score line. You're right. Baron, I'm playing regular games. They end 9-7. If I don't score 6 goals, I'm not playing well. That's not like there's realism to me, and then there is video game, but there's also there's a line, right? Again, when I'd play like Madden 20, and I would stop and go cheese, and you'd have Eric Dickerson. If I'm not scoring every drive, I lose, right? I just lose, and that sometimes feels like Madden sometimes, but just to me, there's some better additions. Madden 20 to me is a C tier game. It's a C tier game.
Okay.
I think you need to go back in time.
This is insane.
No, it's not. You need nostalgia has blinded people with all this stuff, right? I love Madden 16, right? But people don't like Madden 16 that much. But if you look back in time, it's probably a B tier game, probably B tier, right? I think Draft really carried it, just like Superstar KO. I think carries Madden 20. You go back to Madden 20, just read what people were saying about Madden 20 when Madden 20 was a thing, right? So we're not blinded by nostalgia. Everyone did not like it, okay? Same thing. The only reason I think Madden 20, especially FIFA 20, NBA 2K20, I think could be the best game out of these 4 that I'm going to name, and NHL 20 is COVID blinded everything. COVID blinded everything with video games.
I'll say this. I think COVID props up 2K20 specifically because that's more of a collaborative, like you hop on with your buddies, you all hop in the park and you do that. And I think when you had a lot of people like staying home all the time, like people playing video games during their classes, aka Zoom meetings, like there's just more people on the game. And I think that's for a game like 2K, the way that it's constructed with basically a virtual playground where you log in, you sign in to play basketball. I think it makes an experience like that a lot more enjoyable. There's games happening, there's multiple servers open. Like you don't have to like you're not waiting around for a game, or you're not just like going up against these players that are trying so hard and they're on like 20 game win streaks and you know you're not going to beat them, but they're the only people you can play. Like that's what made I think 2K 2020 so fun, and that kind of hype carried over for the next couple of years. I'd say 2K23, that release kind of I think killed that sort of momentum that 2020 brought it. For Madden specifically, when you look at those sort of like collaborative modes that you play with Madden, that's franchise. And honestly, if you're looking at a franchise standpoint, the best option if you play franchise today is probably Madden 26 because they just update it. That's the mode they've been updating the most recently. Like there's a lot of detail to attention. Like there's coach archetypes now. Like, and I know in 27 they've already released some of those are the things I have kind of paid attention to for that game. But they have already like plans to make that experience more realistic, more better. And I think for that player community, that's the feature that people are looking for. And I think that's why Superstar KO kind of just took everyone by storm, because that's a collaborative game mode. Like you get on with your friends, you do the 3v3 mode, and then that's when you're like have one at quarterback, the other two at receiver, one at running back, and you have like these great players on teams of absolute scrubs. Like that engagement was fun for the time, because I think when and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but the way I look at it is, right, 2K's flagship mode is Park, right? That's why a lot of people buy the game. That's why a lot of people buy VC.
Career,
sure.
But yeah, Park it online.
Yeah. Obviously, there's a lot of people that play My Team as well, and there's people that do the franchise mode as well. But I think if you look at the main drive for 2K, it's that Park experience, right? That's what everyone cares about. What does the park look like? What are the builds look like? That's what everyone's always talking about before the game comes out. For Madden, I think the main drive or the main mode that draws people to Madden is Ultimate Team, MUT. And that's not really a collaborative mode. It can be, but the way that it's kind of framed is this is like your team you build by yourself and you play online against random people, but this isn't like something you hop on with your boys and you're like, yeah, let's all hop on MUT. That's just not something that really happens. So I think that plays a part into why that nostalgia kind of gets people. I think when you look at 2020 specifically, that was, I think, a time where a lot of people were just into collaborative gaming. That's how a lot of people connected with their friends when they couldn't go outside. I know me specifically, I was playing GTA or Fortnite or Call of Duty almost every night with my friends. That's how we kind of communicated, since you couldn't see each other at school anymore. And again, my parents were, we won't get into the politics of the lockdown, but I was not restricted of seeing my friends. But some of my friends' parents were not like that, and they weren't allowed to like go outside or see friends. So that's how we would communicate. So I think that time period was just a time period for more collaborative games, which I think is more 2K branded versus individual, or like, yeah, just things you do by yourself, which what Madden mainly is. And I think why Madden 2020 was such a big phenomenon is when people are looking for this collaborative mode, boom, here's EA with a brand new thing, and that's why.
Fair enough. We'll leave it at that then, because our podcast extension bias arguing about this, but that'll be another episode. Nothing Agreed. Thank you all so much for listening. Let us know your thoughts about the new contracts. Let us know your thoughts about the position battles. Let us know your thought about LeBron James going to Philly. Let us know.
With a 3 soon.
All right, bud.
I'm just kidding on that. Well, maybe. I'm not going to say never.
Are COVID games overrated, or are they actually properly rated? I think they're inflated because of what it was. Whatever. That was an episode.
GTA 6 or GTA 5 during COVID, that was the time to be alive.
Thank y'all
Oh,
so
but
much.
before we end that, we got a poll. And you have to answer this too. Did you play GTA 5 during that time period?
I did a little, but not much.
Okay. What color alien were you in GTA 5 2020 COVID? That was when all that happened. The only
That is
right the only right answer is the green alien. So now you can do it.
Thank y'all so much for listening. Minecraft was a play during COVID,
Yeah,
and
fair.
peace.